and then we'll have some questions, and we'll go into the story. We'll go into why we're even here. We'll go into why it's even important to hear about this right now today, because it's a gift for whatever reason. God has gifted me the opportunity, and God has gifted you the opportunity. So let's celebrate that, yes? Yeah. So I came from a family who was highly educated. All the women in my family had several degrees. That was the thing to do. That's what you go get. You get your degrees, you get your husband, you raise your family, and that's that. Not for my life. That didn't quite work, right? So not only was I like a C student in school, it's just I was living in a struggle mentality. Brought up in the Bronx, New York City housing, Gun Hill Projects. That's where I was born. That's where I was raised, and I didn't know that we were struggling, didn't know that we was poor, right? Because everybody else looked like us. It was like, girl, you wearing those things tomorrow? No, I need those and the jacket. Yeah, we want to switch it up because we went to different schools. So I didn't realize how the poverty and struggle mentality would follow me as I started to grow up. So regardless of how much I was being poured into, no one released that struggle mentality. You know how they say you could take a girl out the projects? You know that saying? Right. You could take the girl out the church, but you can't take the church. Well, they didn't take the project out the girl. And so here I am going to Iona College, graduating, saying I'm going to Iona College. No scholarship, just a couple of coins from financial aid. And I was the oldest of three. There's three boys, I'm the oldest, and I had to watch them as my mother was graduating with her master's from college from Rochelle. So it was my turn to go to school. Still struggle mentality. I get there and I see that there's privileged kids. They're driving to school. They're eating nice. They're using their cards. You know, and I'm like, man, I'm just smelling like popcorn because I just came from Cross County, you know, making popcorn. And so now the struggle mentality begins to grow, and it's like you're not in your environment anymore. So although I was taken out of my environment kind of just, it started doing a twist on me. And now it's like you don't belong here. Now my low self-esteem creeped up. Now my lack of confidence creeped up. You don't look like the rest of these kids. You don't have what the rest of these kids have. You're not doing what the rest of these kids could do. Begin to isolate yourself, Lucinda, because you're from the projects. You're a black girl from the projects. Single mom, yeah, your dad's there, but you're a black girl from the projects. So you don't belong here. How many of us have been through that? Let's be honest. You've been in a situation where it's like I don't care how much confidence you try to tell yourself, all that didn't work when I go in the mirror. Oh, you beautiful today, you beautiful today. Lucinda, that didn't work for me. So I'm in college here and I'm seeing I'm trying to figure out how can I keep my coins together so I can get on the bus to go back home, and some days even walking home. So what happens for me, and now what I realize, what I begin to observe now and even see, is that when people think like that, even as you mature in different situations, you make some dumb decisions. You make decisions out of haste. You make decisions because you're tired. You make decisions because you're frustrated. You make decisions because you feel like there's no way out and you refuse to see any other way out. You make decisions because you think you know it all and you really don't know anything. And you make decisions because now you have a lack of confidence and faith in who you are. Is this making sense?
Yeah.
So now I don't even want to be there. Now I have the energy and I'm excited to get, in the beginning I was excited to be there. Now I don't even want to be here because I don't even feel like I belong. I get posed opportunities. It wasn't opposition. An opportunity, right? An opportunity to travel with a suitcase. Just drop my suitcase off. Dropped it off third world countries. I didn't know where Thailand was. I didn't know where Bangkok was. And I didn't care. I was 18 years old. What? You gonna give me how much money to do what? So I did a couple of trips. Money's good. I'm the project hero. Well, 6 months later, feds come knocking on my door. And they got the helicopters. They got the dogs. I mean, you would have thought they was coming to get here. I'm like, just little old me. So they come busting in the door. I'm supposed to be bringing my brothers to school. Mind you, we balling out control. I mean, I had so many gold chains, just ignorant, because I wasn't used to having nothing, yes? You just do dumb stuff when you ain't used to having nothing. So that was feeding my low self-esteem, lack of confidence, right? All those things that I was battling with when I was in school. So what I say is I was using the right tools at the right time for the wrong reason. The right tools at the right time for the wrong reason. What York, ain't never been nowhere. I'd never even been to past Brooklyn. Like, come on, seriously, like. So for me to be bold enough to put on a facade so well that I can get to and from third world countries, back and forth, dropping off suitcases, not stuffing, not packing, that's a big deal. Not caring about my life. So you are willing to risk and do whatever it takes to get the prize at the end. So if I would have saved those tools for the right reasons in school, I was going to school to be a lawyer. Didn't know I would need one 6 months later. So after that whole ordeal, my case is in Chicago. I'm part of a whole Nigerian cartel. It's ridiculous. It's serious. They ship me off to Chicago. I find out the judge wants to give me 10. He ends up giving me 5. I served 4.5 years in federal prison. My peers are graduating from Iona College. I'm graduating from the School of Hard Knocks. I ain't never did nothing but probably take a bubble gum. I even worked for my Barbie doll, stuffing bags at the local A&P back in the days, you know, so it wasn't, oh, you know, this is her background. Remember what I told you, I come from an educated female, you know, women in my family are educated. That means nothing when the mind is sour, right? And so this is where it all started for me. So inside of prison, long story short, this is what I relied on. Creating a vision board, remembering what my mother taught me. You know, remembering the prayers that she taught me, remembering the things that she taught me. Lucinda, you have to think about where you're going, not where you're at. Lucinda, you have to remember where you're going and not where you're at. Lucinda, you have to remember where you're going and not where you're at. And that started when I was a young little girl. And I started to do that, started to cut and paste. What does my life look like when I get out of here? T.D. Jakes said this quote during one of his sermons. He said, I may have done what they said I did, but I'm not who they say I am. And I refuse to be an ex-felon, and that's how I walked out with that mentality. I'm not an ex-felon, and I even had to begin to remove some labels. No, I'm not that project chick. No, I'm not Shine from the block. No, I'm not Cindy that you know, or Lou. I'm not that. I had to embrace my God-given name so I can begin to walk in who I am and what my calling had for me. And that was Lucinda.